We come from two different places in the world, and somehow our God brought us together and introduced us, and He had a purpose for the both of us. Donnie had said to me he had started up a nonprofit and he didn't even know why he did it, but he just felt like he was supposed to do it. His heart was to serve the street people, the people who couldn't, who needed help. He says he just knew, he grew up himself, he had a tough life, and he knew that his life was better now and he could give back, and that was really his purpose. Matthew 25:35 and 36 says, "For when I was hungry, you fed me. For when I was thirsty, you gave me water." That scripture is really the essence of what this is all about, and reaching out. And as we started reaching out to the community, we started running to other people who had that same vision. We ran into some brothers, the Ivanov brothers, who really had a vision to change our community through events where people just come, not a religious event. It's kind of non-structured, it'd just be an outcall to the people.
The purpose of Flash Love has always been to inspire. It's been to inspire the young, it's been to inspire the old, to simply engage with society, with humanity, and hear the cry, hear out the need. A lot of times when people ask about giving, or they're asked about giving, they always look at it in a way, almost from a business perspective. They look at it as what is my ROI? What is my return on investment to what I'm going to give? And it's a fair question, I think, because everybody wants to know that their hard-earned dollars are going to something that's going to make a difference, that's going to change the world, because everybody intuitively seeks that. When people give to Flash Love, the funding fuels our trucks to where we're able to respond. And so we mobilize in a moment's notice a team. Other times it's we just flash mob a community, raking leaves and picking up debris, simply bringing that light and bringing in those young and old hearts, and give them a chance to see that people care. They're not forgotten, because someone or multiple people have donated to us, and we can provide that kind of support.
In the spirit of Matthew 25, we found another ministry called the Hotel Ministry. It's really an acronym for healing others through evangelistic love. That is the essence of Matthew 25. We feed approximately 600 people a month at the Hotel Ministry. There's just a whole cultural mix of people, and in the beginning, they were all in their own little groups, not communicating with each other, very afraid of their shadows, and now they look forward to each meal that we have with them. Everybody's out, everybody's communicating. You start running into people who have this essence of Matthew 25. Dan Russell is one of those people. I met him through my son, who's an MMA fighter, and while he's on the streets feeding people with other MMA fighters, he runs across Dan Russell, who is an Olympic world wrestler and is a pastor out in Battleground.
So I sit on a national board called FCA Wrestling, Fellowship of Christian Athletes Wrestling, and our mission is to impact the wrestling world for Christ. And these resources and funds that are coming in have a huge impact on reaching not just guys that are at the elite level, but we're also at the local level. In our own community here in Battleground, we saw a lot of suicide rates being very, very high, and begin to say we need to get our arms around that. So there's a local movement, and then there's a global movement. How do we infiltrate it with the love of Christ? And how do we witness transformation? We can't transform anybody. He does the transformation, but we get to partner with Him. So what's the community culture that God's placed you in, and how are you impacting and reaching it? What we're saying is we want to invite you to be a part of this dream. If God's stirring that in your heart, we want you to come and get involved and be a part.
With little resources, we've been able to effectively reach out and touch people in our local community, as well as across the world. We've been able to feed people, we've been able to clothe people, We've been able to invite strangers into our home. We've been able to go to prisons and meet with those in prisons. We invite you to join us to do the same and unite and reach our local communities as well as people across the world.